All right, guys, welcome back. It's me, Daniel, VintageMagic.com, and I had to do an emergency video here on this crazy figure here. What is this? This is the Force of Will original artwork, sold for $350,000 on Heritage Auctions. That's basically $280,000 with a 25% buyer's premium. Yes. That's right, 25% buyer's premium on this crazy barbarian. This is like a $100 uncommon card from Alliances from Terese Nielsen, original artwork. I'm going to explain why I think this piece is a monumental sale, but still, I believe, underpriced. I'm going to talk more about magic art. Enjoy the video.
Vintage Magic. Game. Collect. Invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit VintageMagic.com.
All right, guys, happy holidays. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. All right, guys, I'm in Taipei, Taiwan for the holidays. I have to do this emergency video because I was on the airplane when this thing ended on December 16th. A little sucky because I was actually thinking about making a bigger bid. I actually was outbidded around $100,000. So buyer's premium would be about $125,000. I knew that wasn't going to win, but I was thinking about making a much bigger bid. I don't know if I would have won it. Who knows what kind of whales are out there who want this piece. So a lot of backstory on this piece. Let's go into it. So the original art for Force of Will was purchased by a gentleman, I believe in like someone in Scandinavia, Norway or Sweden or something. The gentleman actually messaged me when he was going to put on Heritage. I was a little surprised because it was going to be in the holiday season, but nonetheless, what was very important about this piece was it was by itself. Excuse me. It was auctioned by itself as an original art without a bunch of other original alpha pieces or other iconic pieces together. So I thought that really did a good justice for the piece. Not sure about the marketing though. I didn't see much of a buzz on it. There wasn't much talk about it, but from that perspective, at least it wasn't, lost in translation with a bunch of other alpha pieces or something. Force of Will, as you guys know, is one of the most iconic Magic the Gathering cards in existence to man. If you are a Magic the Gathering player of any kind, collector of any kind, you will know this barbarian type of creature figure by Terese Nielsen, which also, Terese Nielsen is one of the most iconic Magic the Gathering artists of all time. So these, people can debate about this. I've heard this debate quite often in the years of collecting and investing, but we can go off and say, okay, what would justify a multi-six-figure card artwork, or let alone, let's say $1 million plus, right? And the Force of Will truly has that, kind of that mystique, right? It is a larger piece. For those of you who care about larger Magic the Gathering art, it is larger than the 5x7 alpha pieces. It's done by one of the most iconic artists of all time, Terese Nielsen. Now, she has gone through some controversy through her political views over the years, but I don't give a shit. She's pretty freaking awesome, right? Her art is beautiful. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing to understand is obviously the Force of Will card itself. Force of Will is, and I'm not like a professional Magic player, by the way. I'm going to say from what I see and know. It is a card that basically requires 5 mana, and it costs 5 mana, 2 blue, I think, and 3 colorless, something like that. But what it says on there is that it's an instant speed, counter target spell, or you can basically not pay the casting cost. You can pitch a blue card, a creature, whatever, and then also lose 1 life, which is nominal, and counter target spell. You're probably asking yourself, well, pitching a card is bad card advantage. Losing 1 life, well, I guess not that big of a deal. It's not, right? Yeah, it's not. Think about it this way. In the world of high-speed Magic like Vintage, which has combos that can kill you in 1 turn, if you're, let's say, you're on the draw, and you're sitting around and the opponent's basically going off some storm combo or some crazy combo on turn 1, you could force to will them and then they're stuck. They have nothing else going on. And if you have 2 in your hand, it's even more awesomer, right? So I gotta say, I've played this card in other instances. It's just so fun, so effective, so iconic. Now, in the years of Magic, there has been other examples of the Force of Will. There is the other Terese Nielsen Eternal Masters version, which has this beautiful wizard lady with a circular fire and design. Check it out. Eternal Masters Force of Will by Terese Nielsen. I actually own the original. I was actually going to do this video when I got back in town with it, which I will when I get back. And it's, I think, easily much more aesthetically more beautiful, obviously more aesthetically more beautiful than a barbarian guy with fire. It looks like, you know, very powerful and strong, which is not to knock on the artwork, but, you know, aesthetically, I think the artwork for the Eternal Masters is much more beautiful. And that does play a role. I will say that when it comes to artwork, there is an important factor of hangability. If the card is like very demonic, very dark, tends to not get that huge premium. Now, there are exceptions. For example, like Lord of the Pit's pretty iconic. Demonic Tutor didn't sell for as much as we should have. There's a controversy on that sale in general, but that should go for a lot of money. You know, Mind Twist, you know, pretty iconic card. That could probably sell for a lot of money. And I will say that if it's not a very iconic card, but gameplay-wise, but the artwork is very demonic, tends to not get the top dollars as, you know, more landscape, blue cards, angels, goblins, things that are more tribal, stuff like that, knights, etc. All right, so now that I got the boring stuff out of the way, let's talk about the sale. So Heritage Auctions put this thing out, and I gotta say that I personally think that that is a lower price than I would expect for that level of piece. Here's why. Number one, and I'll tell you why I think it got lower also. I think the card, the Force of Will piece, is much more valuable. I think it's either easily north of $500,000. Here's why. The Black Lotus original art last year sold for $4 million by myself. I essentially brokered the deal. It was kind of public. I posted some stuff here and there, but never really did an official video. Wasn't on CNN, wasn't on some kind of famous channel, wasn't Post Malone buying it, wasn't on eBay. I guess if I sold it on eBay, it would have got a lot more traction, but it is by far the highest Magic the Gathering collectible and painting ever sold, ever. Ranks as one of the top collectibles in the world in general. So that right there is a benchmark. So is the Force of Will at $350,000 a fraction of the Black Lotus? Do I think the Force of Will should be worth more? Absolutely, absolutely more. And the Black Lotus itself was, I think, personally undervalued at $4 million. I think that has a lot of room to run. One day, I'll pay passed away, you know, something. It'll be like over $10 million. I wouldn't even be doubted. It'll be in some museum, right? Who knows? It's so iconic. It's crazy, and it's very beautiful. So I think the Force of Will could have gone higher. I also think that the crypto boom that's going to be happening in 2024 could easily have pushed this thing even higher. So one thing about Heritage Auctions is they take a 25%, read my lips, 25% buyer's premium on this painting. I think once you reach like $500,000, it becomes like 20%. Go ahead and read the terms, but essentially, whatever you buy, you're adding 20%. Now, if you're the seller of the art, a lot of people are going to be like, well, why in the world would you bother working with Heritage Auctions? Not knock on a Heritage. They're a great website. They get a lot of traffic, a lot of publicity. Some of the folks there are, you know, been doing it for a long time. But Magic is a relatively new thing in their industry, and also Pokemon, etc. So Heritage is trying to present the higher end products. They've done some higher end sales, but the thing is, that buyer's premium is so high, it does deter buyers from paying more. Now you're probably asking, well, why don't you just bid accordingly? Why don't you just bid accordingly and just factor in the buyer's premium in the price? Good question. Yep, that you can do that also. But also, Heritage Auction charges sales tax. If you live in the United States, you'll be paying sales tax on $350,000, or I believe you'll pay it on the price of the sale, the $280,000. So that's something to note also. Now, if you're an international buyer, you won't have that problem. And because the bidding increments, this is very important, the bidding increments at the higher price point items are so high. I think it might be even like 1,000 or 5,000 each bid, right, for the next bid. It also deters buyers, and also, it makes the sale price much greater. I think it's good, it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? If there's, you don't want a bunch of people paying $25 increments. This auction will last literally forever, an extended bidding, but you also want to make it more realistic too. Something to note, and that with the 25% buyer's premium makes the strike of the sale much higher. I also think, so I think that if the auction was listed with a lot more glitz and glamour, maybe a interview with Terese Nielsen. I think she lives in Nevada now. Something like that, something more public, something to give her a kickback, more, a story time type of thing. I think that would have drawn a lot more attention. I think that would have gone north of $500,000, if not close to $750,000. I wouldn't have doubted it. Maybe $1 million. You never know. I don't know if Heritage accepts cryptocurrency. Another thing, if you accept cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, I think you would have got attracted to a lot more buyers. I think you can only pay by wire, bank, check, cashier's check, personal check, stuff like that. So that's something to note. Another thing is, I think that's really important to understand is that trades. A lot of people who do high-end sales of art and collectibles, they do accept trades. And because Heritage, the seller wants to basically get cash money for this sale, that eliminates a decent pool of buyers who have a lot of trade, who'd be willing to trade for the art. So let me explain how that works. Let's say I had $1 million of alpha cards, really $1 million worth of sales of alpha cards that I've collected over the years, and I just really want this painting. If I traded you $1 million of alpha cards, which is obviously their fair value, the real value is about $1 million in sales, you'd be like, sure, right? In the normal case. The problem here is, well, Heritage has to sell it for money. And so the person trading would have to sell those magic cards in time for the auction, and then pay sales or income tax, do all the shipping, etc. There probably isn't a good timing awards to actually gather the funds. So that brings up another point, is timing. How are you going to get during the holiday season, before the Christmas time? Most people don't have those funds ready to go to buy this level of artwork or asset. I really think if it was timed better, you would have to see a better sale. Now, I'm criticizing it, not saying knocking on Heritage or the industry or whatever. I think they do a great job in general, great quality company, etc. Some of the folks in there, I have my own opinions, but they're a pretty good, company overall. And I will tell you that there's nothing wrong with them, right? It's just that when you talk about high-profile sales, big items, I think the private sales, like the Post Malone $2.6 million sale of the 101 One Ring card, I'm telling you right now, if that One Ring card was on eBay or Heritage or whatever, I don't think it would get $2.6 million final price. I just don't see it. The reason why is when you have more of that one-on-one FOMO, the kind of buyers, I gotta have this thing type of thing. It's so much more stronger, in my opinion, than an auction. I think auctions in the past, I think auctions in the sports card world really do really well. But I think for Magic Gathering, it's still at the infant stages, and a lot of gamers, collectors have already expressed to me they're not going to bid on Heritage. They just don't think it's the format for them. Something to note, right? Now, I'm not saying it's going to be bad. It's not going to be growing in the future. I personally think it's fine. It's kind of cool watching the live auctions, etc. Especially if you're on that live auction, watching the price go up. It's kind of cool. They accept phone calls, etc., texts, etc. So I think that's pretty awesome for the industry. So no knock on the process. I just don't think the marketing, the timing, all that weighed in. And also the trading factor in cryptocurrency, if they accept it or not. I don't remember. All right, so my final thoughts here. By the way, I'm probably going to get people asking me, is my Terese Nielsen Eternal Masters Force of Will original artwork available? It was available before. I was talking to a guy. I told him I wanted $100,000 for it. Well, it's going to be a lot more than that now. It's probably going to be about $200,000, $250,000. Reason why you're probably asking, well, it's not the OG, it's not the original, the Alliances, but it's pretty much the Force of Will, right? And it's more, in my opinion, it's more aesthetically pleasing, and it's by one of the top artists ever in Magic history, Terese Nielsen. I'll do a video on it later. If someone wants it, you can message me, Daniel at vintagemagic.com. You can text me, call me, 206-914-7974. I'd be happy to fly out to you, buy you dinner, whatever. We can play poker, play craps, eat hot pot, I don't know, fly to Singapore, Taiwan, meet Santa, I don't care, whatever you want. So we can negotiate a deal. I accept all trades, Bitcoin, etc. I'll make it flexible for payment plans. Another thing, payment plans. Oh, that's another thing I forgot. Payment plans is a very strategic play. If you are accepting payment plans with a down payment, it generally is more appealing to buyers. I think that's why private sales work out better. The terms, the payment plans, the whole process, the whole marketing aspect, there's a lot positivity there. Last thing I will say also is that I will be having some iconic Magic the Gathering artwork available for sale for 2024. Let's just call it right now. I'm going to say one of them, Brainstorm. That's right. Oh, that's Ancestral Recall. Sorry. The guy with the brain, the one blue instant speed. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The original Christopher Rush Ice Age Brainstorm from 1995 is coming up to the market. No, it's not going to be an auction. It'll be a private sale. I'll probably put it on eBay or something as a store listing. I don't know. But I basically have amassed a huge art collection and also a great relationship with other collectors where I'm basically going to offer some great, amazing pieces next year. That's one of the pieces. So again, you can call me, text me. We can talk more about it. All right, guys. I want to do this video for you guys. I hope you guys are doing well, being safe out there. Comment below what you think. Do you think the sale was too little, too high, right there even? I don't know. Do you think my thoughts were correct? Do you think they're wrong? I'm always happy to respond. Guys, happy holidays. I'll be doing some more videos here soon, and talk to you in the next one. Take care.
Hey everyone, it's me, Daniel with VintageMagic.com. I want to share with you more about how we handle consignments. So to begin the consignment process, we actually need to start with the consultation service. In this consultation, I will determine what you're looking to do. And generally, consigners usually tell me, hey Dan, I'm looking to sell my items and maximize the value of their collection. After we determine through the consultation, I usually like to do an appraisal process. And an appraisal process in terms of a consignment is more fitted towards authenticity and valuation for current market values. From there, after a contract is crafted and signed, we will then receive the items from you. The reason why our consignment process is very thorough is we also identify cards that could be graded so then they can maximize higher dollar values. So the payment process is very simple. Once we have sold your items, you'll get an updated ledger and we will process payment for whatever form of payment you need. As a consigner, you're gonna experience our white glove service. What that means is I'm gonna personally handle your collectibles from beginning to end. And rest assured, the client that purchases your collectibles will also receive the same white glove service. It's a signature service that I really pride myself on in working closely with my clients.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.